Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and Britney Spears has been trending today on social media, all across Twitter, Instagram, with the hashtag #FreeBritney. It made me want to look more into it. I figured something must be happening. Britney Spears has gone crazy again. And then I looked into it, and I felt horrible. And I realized how a lot of us, myself included, really have made Britney Spears a joke. If you really go back and think about it, I loved her music. Hit Me Baby One More Time. I mean, Stronger, Lucky. So many amazing songs by Britney that I loved over the years. But I remember those meltdowns too. And I remember thinking, wow, she's crazy. Oh my God. Ha ha. Look at her shaving her head. Look at her smashing that car with the umbrella. Look at all this crazy stuff. Britney's wild. She's crazy. Guys, it wasn't cool what we were doing. And the reality was, when all that happened, and I remember it, and I just didn't pay attention enough to it, and I'm sorry I did. I see a lot of people offering apologies to Britney, and I want to do the same, and I hope you guys look into this story because it's truly heartbreaking. When all that happened, when Britney was crazy, she was put in a conservatorship. Conservatorship. It's a word a lot of us don't even think really understand what it is. But basically, it's put someone else in charge when they feel like someone's not mentally able to be in charge of their lives. And at that point, Britney was clearly going through a lot of stuff. I think clearly having a mental breakdown, having probably problems, maybe with alcohol, who knows? But going through a lot of issues at such a high level of fame and who to trust, I can't even imagine what Britney was going through. Her dad was then set as her conservatorship, a conservator. Sorry, I keep messing the word up. But he was set up in charge of basically everything. Everything Britney Spears did from that point on had to be controlled and decided by her dad. Now, Britney is older, has a family, and apparently doesn't want her dad in charge anymore. And apparently, she can't get free. That's what Free Britney is about. Hashtag Free Britney is changing conversation about mental health. And it's all about a New York Times documentary called Framing Britney Spears, which really brings this all into light. A lot of fans have been fighting for her for a long time, trying to free her from this. Britney herself has been trying to get out of this. She has been doing her own stage shows in Vegas for hours at a time. She has children. She's been in healthy relationships for the past 5 years. Look, a lot of people think she's being weird dancing around on Instagram, but looks like she's taking care of herself, working out, having fun, dancing, doing what she wants to do. The reality is we got to stop making fun of her and actually figure out, is she okay? Is she okay? And if she's okay, why isn't she able to get control of her life? It's really scary, guys. And I went down a lot of rabbit holes to really get to the truth of what was happening. What was this conservatorship? And so thanks to Pop Sugar, they put together a nice little breakdown. And I'm going to be watching this documentary. And if anybody out there has more information to share about this movement, please let me know. I'd love to try and learn more and get into this and become someone else to help this movement. Because from everything I'm looking at, she deserves more attention in this. So when did this start? When did it begin? Back in 2008, when she suffered what appeared to be a very public breakdown following a series of odd behaviors. She was placed on a psychiatric hold in Los Angeles hospital for evaluation. At that time, her father petitioned for temporary conservatorship, arguing that Britney was in no state to take care of herself for matters of her life. The conservatorship granted him the legal rights to oversee and control most aspects of her life, from her health and business decisions to her personal life. According to 2016's New York Times report, that control and scrutiny covers every detail from buying a cup of coffee to testifying in court. In September 2019, people reported that he was temporarily stepping down. So he was put in temporarily in 2008, and he's still in charge. It's now 2021. In 2019, people reported he was temporarily stepping down from his role as conservator, but intended to return. The decision came after reports that he had allegedly had been a verbal and physical altercation with one of Britney's teenage sons, Sean. It's amazing to know they're now teenagers. My God, I remember them. Her son's with Kevin Federline. Sean's father, Kevin, had filed a restraining order against Jamie, the dad, Britney's dad. At the time, Jody Montgomery, a licensed conservator, assumed the role from Jamie, Britney's father. Recently, more information has come to light about Britney's strong opposition to her father returning to the role of conservator. In August 2020, people reported that she made a court filing to that effect, requesting that they permanently make this new person, Jody Montgomery, the permanent conservator instead of her father. We are now at a point where the conservatorship must be changed substantially in order to reflect the major changes in her current lifestyle and her stated wishes, her lawyer stated in the filing. In September 2020, Us Weekly reported, Britney requested the court case be open to the public, going against her father's wishes to keep it sealed. Britney herself vehemently opposed to this effort by her father to keep her legal struggle hidden away in the closet as a family secret. I mean, think about that. Here's Britney saying, no, put it all out there. I'm sick of this. Why do you keep telling me it's a secret, Dad? And why do you keep telling me all right, let's put it out there then. I'm not afraid. Everybody knows everything about me. It's time to put this out there. Why is he hiding it? It's a huge red flag. Filing instead in part acknowledges the Free Britney movement and suggests that Britney, at least in part, agrees. Far from being conspiracy theory a joke, as Jamie reportedly told the media, and in large part of this scrutiny on social media, is a reasonable and even predictable result of James's aggressive use of sealing procedure over the years to minimize the amount of meaningful information made available to public. Whatever merits his strategy might have had years ago when Britney was trying to restart her career, at this point in her life, when she is trying to regain some measure of personal autonomy, Britney welcomes and appreciates the informed support of her many fans. So it's also important to remember, I remember when all this went down, it just seemed like she was okay with it. She wanted the conservatorship. That's how the media always played it. Jamie and the media, like, oh, she wanted it. I remember reading articles and seeing like, oh yeah, well, she's clearly not stuck in anything because look, they just take care of everything for her and she gets to do what she wants. Apparently that's not what it's been. And I wonder if she's legally barred from even talking about a lot of this. Is the reason why we haven't heard a lot about it. So what's going on with it now? Well, months later in November 2020, Britney formally moved to permanently remove her father as co-conservative of her estate. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Brenda Penny denied the request, despite Britney's insistence, though through her lawyer, that she feared her father and did not wish to perform while he was in charge. And this was echoed here. She lost her court case to remove her father. But apparently they said didn't mean you couldn't. They didn't rule out future petitions. But my client has informed me that she is afraid of her father. Britney's attorney told the judge she will not perform again if her father's in charge of her career. On the other hand, Jamie's attorney argued that under his conservatorship, he helped relieve Britney of debt and increased her net worth to $60 million. But it sounds like he's just a net mad. He can't control the empire still, even though he did a lot. I mean, it's her dad. Why leave if she doesn't want you there? Clearly they've had some problems, some fights. At a certain point, leave. Jamie became the 30th singer in 2008 after she suffered a public meltdown and has been there since. In 2019, he became sole conservator after attorney Andrew Wallet resigned from his conservatorship. However, financial company Bessemer Truth has since been appointed as, look, who's behind all this? Who's making the money? Who's actually in control? What's happening? These are actual legit fair questions that have made me go, wait, this could be really effed up, right? This is really scary if something actually is going on there. And those of you saying, oh no, Britney's crazy. Come on, guys, enough. Dude, she's old enough now. If she's able to pull off concerts in Vegas, 2-hour shows at a time, she should be able to handle her finances and decide who's in charge of her finances at this point. And if she wants to throw them all away, that's also her right. What is this? This is scary stuff, guys. So anyway, apparently her siblings are now involved as well. Her brother Brian has revealed that Britney has wanted freedom for some time. She's always wanted to get out of it. It's very frustrating to have, whether someone's coming in peace to help or coming in with an attitude. Having someone constantly tell you something has got to tell you to do something has got to be frustrating. She's wanted to get out of it for a while. Her sister Jamie Lynn, on the other hand, has now gotten involved in the legal side of Britney's life. On August 2020, at the request of Jamie Spears and co-conservative Andrew Wallet, Jamie Lynn was named trustee of Britney's estate, meaning that in the event of Britney's death, Jamie Lynn, not Britney's sons, would inherit her estate. I mean, that's messed up too. And that makes me fight. Is she not with her sister anymore? Why wouldn't her kids get control? I mean, they're young, I guess, but at a certain point, shouldn't they just get it? Or are they going to try and keep it from her kids next? What's scary too is, and now as this article is saying, it doesn't seem likely that it'll be happening anytime soon. The conservator can't just wake up one morning and say, I don't need this, I don't want it, make it go away. A lawyer involved with Jamie Spears' legal team for the conservator in the documentary says. A petition to end a conservatorship would have to be filed, and there's got to be evidence or some demonstration that a conservatorship is not necessary at that point in time. It's the conservatee who has the burden of saying, I don't need a conservatorship anymore, and here's why. She adds that in her experience, she's never seen a conservatee successfully end a conservatorship. Sorry for messing up his words, but man, that's messed up. It's messed up what's happening. I don't like this. And here's something I also want to share to end this, because I want to look more into the story. I'm going to watch the documentary. I'll report back to you guys, especially if you like this story. And in fact, please support this channel. Did that ad? Did you get an ad? Sometimes I don't get ads when I talk about stories like this, but thank you for those of you who did. Craig Ferguson's in the news as well, because back in, when was this? 2007. Craig Ferguson was celebrating the 15 years of his own sobriety. And this is a point in his show, in his late show, that he decided, you know what? I don't want to keep making fun of these people. And never forget when Craig Ferguson refused to make fun of Britney Spears. And he was one of very few that was willing to do this publicly while we were all laughing at the shaved head and the nonsense. And I want to play a couple of these clips, and then I got a quote from Britney's boyfriend to end on. But I want to end on these words of Craig Ferguson because they're very wise.
It's been happening in the press and the media recently, and particularly in the so-called news outlets. The way the media is looking at the world. I kind of had similar feelings when I used to watch America's Funniest Home Videos. You know, you'd be laughing at the kid falling over, and then you go, wait a minute, put down the damn camera and help your kid. What the hell is wrong with you?
I got to pause and offer commentary, otherwise it's not fair use. But yes, he makes a good point here. Why do the parents always send that in? It's for humor. But in these cases, a lot of these cases, Britney shaving her head, that was not funny. It wasn't funny. There was legit stuff going wrong, and I'm sure a lot of you watching, myself included, were laughing at it, thinking, oh man, that's crazy.
And I think we're kind of holding the camera, and people are falling apart. People are dying. That Anna Nicole Smith woman, she died. No, it's not a joke, you know.
They're laughing at it. Like, how messed up is that? They're just accustomed to, like, yeah, remember when Anna Nicole Smith? That was tragic. And he's about to say it. She had a baby, and here she dies, but we laugh at how stupid she was and how crazy and all the dumb things she did. And even the audience on cue, yeah, she died and Nicole's dead. This is effed up.
No, it stops being funny. That she's got a 6-week-old kid or 6-month-old kid. What the hell is that? You know, and I'm starting to feel uncomfortable about making fun of these people. And for me, comedy should have a certain amount of joy in it. It should be about us attacking the powerful people, attacking the politicians and the Trumps and the blowhards.
The Trumps. Little did he know that the Trumps would become the politicians. I don't think even he had a time machine to guess that one back then.
Going after them. We shouldn't be attacking the vulnerable people. And I think, this is totally a mea culpa, this is just for me. I think my aim's been off a bit recently. I want to change it a bit. So tonight, no Britney Spears jokes, and here's why. Here's exactly why.
But listen, watch the whole piece. I'm going to show you the ending now because it's long and I can't play it all. But even there, this is a serious monologue he's doing. And he started, this is where it sort of triggered and changed for Craig Ferguson, where he just started becoming himself. And I think where he really found more fans. And this was a really good, watch the whole thing. You can find it on there. Craig Ferguson Speaks from the Heart on YouTube. But yeah, he's telling the serious story about her, and they're still laughing. They're still laughing like, no Britney jokes. They can't even handle it. Like, no, this is late night TV. I need Britney jokes. That's why I tuned in, to laugh at her misfortune. Here he is at the end sort of explaining more why. As he goes into a big story about his sobriety and his own attempts at suicide. It's a really in-depth and heartfelt speech. But here, I wanted to end on this last part.
I threw in the towel with alcoholism 15 years ago, and I've been trying for the last 15 years to get little bits of it back. And it looks to me a little bit that Britney Spears has a similar problem going on with alcohol. This woman has 2 kids. She's 25 years old. She's a baby herself. She's a baby, you know. And the thing is, you can embarrass somebody to death. It's embarrassing to admit you're an alcoholic. It's embarrassing to wake up in your pee or someone else's pee. It doesn't really matter.
Good. He somehow makes it still. He figures out a couple ways to make the laugh, but what he's saying here is true. It's heartbreaking, and he did it before anybody else. He did it during the moment. So kudos to Craig Ferguson. Kudos for him for making the chance to do it. I don't know if Britney was an alcoholic, but she clearly was going through issues. It might have been compounded with a lot of things, to be fair. But he's got a point connecting, and this was all connected to his own 15-year anniversary of his own sobriety that really changed him. And he did an whole interview talking about this in here. He talked about it. It's a really good piece in the Los Angeles Times where it was all connected, and he didn't want to keep doing this. And he really thought at that point he was going to get fired. He makes a whole point. Here's the craziness at that point where she went and did that. But he thought his aim was off. What an interesting way to say it. That's sort of, he went in to do it. But he really thought he was going to get fired, and then instead he got a lot of support. a lot of support from people who were there coming back saying, no, what you did last night was amazing, and everybody, the network included, rewarding him and applauding him because he was himself. And he was being nice. He was standing up against all the craziness. So look, last thing I want to end on here is I get more, and I will report on this again because I'm fascinated by all this, and I want to make sure Britney is okay because I haven't always been a fan of Britney Spears, and I don't like seeing this thing happen here. But Sam, her boyfriend now the past 5 years, who has they have stayed quiet on all this. He has now made a statement. Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way. In my opinion, Jamie is a total bleh. Right there, D word. I won't be going into details because I've always respected our privacy, but at the same time, I didn't come to the country to not be able to express my opinion and freedom. Because now, as being a partner to her, he's now stuck in there. Now, people are going to say, "Oh, but why should you consider?" Who knows? Look, the reality is, it's her life, it's her decision. She's had a long time to get her stuff in gear, and it's not. Is it really still our place to make this call? And is Jamie really doing the best interest for her? Look, there's a lot of stuff going on in this case that I implore you, go look more yourself. I'm going to check out this documentary, Framing Britney. Apparently is on Hulu. And a lot of support, a lot of people online, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people coming out to not only support Britney, hashtag Free Britney, but also really talk about their own experiences of just how troubling it really is. The stuff behind the scenes, how kind of a person she was, how just heartbreaking this whole thing is, how she was treated as a celebrity back then and as a female. I've already read some sections, and I can see, look, there's definitely a conversation here that we should all be having. And Britney Spears, I hope you're okay. And if I'm going to look more into this to sort of make sure this isn't all just some sort of spin, but from everything I'm reading, no, this seems like there's a legit concern here for her well-being. And at a certain point, we got to look ourselves in the mirror and say, should we really still be calling her out, making fun of her and saying she's crazy? Is that really right? I'm not going to do it. My aim's been off, and I've had my aim off several times in the past few years. Before everything reset, and even after my reset, I've been trying to figure out, well, how do I find my way? What's the way I'm going to please you guys, but really please myself? We all can miss aim. It's really, really impressive, and it takes a really strong person to admit when your aim is off and to correct and take accountability and to apologize and refocus. And it takes an even bigger and also a good person to accept and move forward with that person. So maybe my aim's been off too. This makes me look at things. I don't want to be kicking people while they're down. I don't try to. I don't think I have, but I think we all could be better at it. And Britney, I hope we can break this through together. Hashtag Free Britney. I look forward to seeing where this goes. Hopefully this is a big groundswell. This is trending very largely online. Maybe this will amount to something big for her. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Stay tuned. If you want to watch more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the bell for all notifications and smash that like button to help the engagement. If you don't do that and leave comments, YouTube doesn't share these videos, and this one feels like an important one to share. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet. And it's Tuesday night, Thursday nights, Tuesday nights live, 9:30 p.m. We go live. We're definitely going to be talking about this and so much more.